All right, welcome all to our Wake Up ESA moment. As part of this, today we're going to have an amazing breakthrough session on the wealth mindset and money manifestation. So, as part of this, our wonderful Aliyah is going to present on college planning and college preparation and financial well-being for students. And let's rock and shine. Yeah, so this entire month we do this financial breakthrough with respect to wealth mindset and money manifestation. So one of the important thing is it's not about what adults know about finance. It's also about how we make our kids, the youth, to know about finance and what are the different ways, we prepare for their college. And there is statistics which says that, the number one debt, which is really, being a very big burden in the entire US is the college, the loan for, the students. And so we're going to just learn on how we can better plan for it, better prepare for it, better get through it. Yes, Aliyah, rock and shine. Yeah, please proceed.
Okay, Mohan. Hope everyone can see the screen. Good morning, all of you. Happy Wednesday, happy morning. Yeah. That I'll start with some funny posts. That's why you see them. A smiley face at the same time. My popular comedian Vadivelu's face. Whenever I type the word plan panano, that's what comes into my mind. I thought I'll put this so that lights up your day. For those who know this actor. Yeah. A lot been discussed at the finance, and I like to start with the one simple quote. Especially the millionaires and billionaires use the word. They don't look at finance as the way an average middle class look at the word finance, because to them it's a game. Finance is a game played well. For some of us it's softballs, for some of us it's a soccer ball, and for some it's a virtual ball, for some it's just a ball that we think we have. And it's a game. At the end we all play and do it well, play it well with whatever ball we have, and life is fun. Don't sweat too much on little things, and don't sweat too much on financial things. That's a simple quote worth mentioning in the beginning of this. So the college planning steps and the financial consciousness, and how I would like to handle, or how I handle it, in my view, is all about it. So whatever that opinions that I express, it's all my. It doesn't have to necessarily connect with everyone. That it's like I said, it's my game. So I'm sharing my game. Of course, living in the US, we all know that the education is free, right? It's free from elementary school all the way through the high school. And that's when I thought I'll add another line that says, wait for the bill from the college. We all know, whoever has raised kids in the college, who have learned about it, and I'm sure you understand what it means to be for that. I only hope and pray, like Mahendran said in the beginning, how hard it is, how kids end up carrying their finance, or the bill, or the loan, through their 30s and 40s and even beyond 40s, and they try to settle it down. But what's the point? So owing that money all the way through the life and not able to pay, it's something, there is something wrong with that, right? So I like to add that issue with the health issue, right? The health, how the health system works here, which is, we have to constantly work and to have the health insurance, and then we pay too much focus on the work, we eventually lose the health and not paying attention to that. So it's a really tricky situation. Same thing with the college, the way how the tax dollar is not able to go beyond the high school is certainly a concern, and I hope that this will go through a lot of improvement. So not that in a negative way, but then there need to be some politically revived ideas for all the families to be able to support their children going to the schools and colleges and whatnot, accomplishing their dream life. So now I have a question for all of you. If you could put this on the chat or something, when to start planning for college from a kid's perspective. Number one, whether you want to start the day, from the day your son or daughter was born, or during the elementary or middle school, or during the high school, or the fourth point is leave the kid alone, let him or let her enjoy being a kid and they know what to do. What do you think is the answer? If you could take a second, put this on the chat or, WhatsApp group message, I leave that to you. So I'd like to give you, say 3 seconds if you could respond to that. Let me see if there is any, anyone has any message. Yeah, okay. All right. Thank you, Sudhir. Lingam Krishna said from the day one, your son or daughter was born. All right. So I see an answer 1 and 2. Since they are born, make the kid play, make the kid pay. Okay. Or kid being a kid, I would take this as an answer. Thank you, Ashok. So yeah, so I've seen all the replies, right? 1, 2, 3, and 4, pretty much, right? Maybe high school, like thank you, Vanilla. This is not expected because all are right answers. So either you start from the day your son or daughter was born, plan during the elementary school or middle school, plan during the high school, and it's also okay to do them at the end. There is no wrong answer here. It all, if you are able to start it earlier, that's great. As long as, but the read between the line is that not stress them out. If they are being part of the planning part, if they are able to set what they want to be, who they want to be at an early age, that is the kid that we want to start talking about. Some kids would take more time. There are slow learners. They are not necessarily slow in a negative way. We need all sorts of players for the world. The universe has created every kid to accomplish something for themselves and for the universe. So that's why we see a lot of times we say in a fun way or funny way that the backbenchers rock. The backbenchers eventually run the colleges, not the front benchers usually work for the backbenchers, and a lot of things that's the case. So leave the kid alone and feel free to plan as early as possible, as long as with the approval from your son or daughter is what I would share from my experience. So this is from a student's perspective. I'll come back to the same question from a parent side of it. So we'll talk to that in the next slide. One other thing that I continue to do celebrating every accomplishment of my daughters. So I've got 2 wonderful daughters. One has completed her degree, and the other one is in the high school and aspiring to become something that she has been carrying since elementary or middle school, and she wants to pursue that career. And I'm so amazed that she has something in her head for so little. So at young age. So I would continue to celebrate their accomplishments because the why we should celebrate their even a little. There's no such thing called little accomplishment. It looks like little from our side, like they got someone who used to get a B is able to get an A+. It's not a small thing. It's a big accomplishment. So let's be mindful of it. As parents, I tell myself it's how convenient it is to forget their hard work. I recently saw a small short video of my YouTube that said a woman was trying to say, oh my God, I wish I can go back as a child. And then there is a noise from the background about science, math, language, and then algebra, trigonometry, biology, zoology, all of that. Then she quickly shakes herself up. Oh my God, thank God, I don't want to go back as a child. It's not easy. The child being a kid, what they go through in the school, no matter where they are, it's very challenging. Let us be mindful of that, because most parents, a lot of us forget the fact that, that we have been through that phase of life and we think the kid life was easier. No, their life has a lot of challenges, equally challenging. So that's one reminder I tell myself. Second, not many kids are able to go beyond the high school for whatever reason, different situations, family, community, financial obligation, pressure, drugs, addiction, separation in the family, no harmony in the family, a lot of things. So if we are able to bring our kid all the way from elementary school through the high school, and we continue to keep our smile on, that itself is a big accomplishment. And I tell this to myself every day. And then I don't know how many of you are here who have who are considering your son or college for certain colleges and stuff. I thought this may be the next piece of info may be worth sharing. I'm sure every one of us have a son or daughter either approaching their college life or they're already in the college, right? So, but those who don't know, I thought it's better to mention that if you could focus on these 5 things, that would certainly shape our sons and daughters to be a successful in the college admission process, right? We all know the typical grade and the GPA and whatnot, and then we also know about the SAT and the ACT score. These are all typical of what how the students are measured, right? And then we also know there is something called an essay writing. That's where the colleges would like to know the opinion of the kid on what they like to accomplish, what they like, how they look at themselves is what they're seeing it. That pretty much talks a lot about one's mind and their ambitions and whatnot. So a lot of things get reflected when we start writing. So as you would agree with that. So, and then they also would like to understand these are the the last 2 things amazes me, because every kid is where their uniqueness is measured as well. Time spent beyond the school, which basically can be translated into volunteering and get yourself involved. How what are the initiative as a child you're able to do all of that is considered as being a socially aware kid. And finally, the individuality, right? So that's where show me what you got kind of question is being asked in the so if we want our sons or daughters to be in a good school, if we are able to accomplish all these, then you could be in their top list of top list. We will be able to enroll them in the top colleges, right? Because if there are 1,000 students applying for a college, and some students, their acceptance rate is very, very low. Like Harvard, for example, 2% or less than 3%. Even in our in-state, let's say I live in Virginia, there are different schools, and different schools have different acceptance rates. Some school they accept 20% of the application. If 100 kids apply for that, and 80 kids get rejected there, or they are referred to other colleges, and some schools take 50% of that, some schools take 80%. So obviously if we want to send them to the top school, this individuality and the show me what you got plays a pretty good role. There's still a magic box or a black box kind of thing, that they don't necessarily go through the grades and the SAT scores all the time. So that's where the creativity adds value to those applications and stuff. Yeah. That's why I thought I highlighted them. 2 typical things. One is opinion and the social aware, and their personal talents. If there are great students who are able to show their musical talents, show their book writing talents, show their ability to say their dreams in life, and all sorts of uniqueness is been shown to them through their applications and through their school teacher feedbacks and whatnot. So it's important to build that. So that's if as parents, if you're able to focus on the last three things, or at least the last two things, the kids will be able to focus on the top two or three things in their life. That will be a fair deal to play. Let's talk about the money part, because this is a finance month. Let's talk about how do we set aside, how I would suggest, if I were to share my experience with people. The college savings at the end of the day, whether you save them through investments, whether you save them through a specific college savings plan or other tax benefiting, programs, there are all of them are good. There's no one size fit all here based on our income. But what I would suggest is, irrespective of what's been documented in this, 3-page document here, as long as we set aside some dollar at the early age. So I'm going to go back to the first question: when to start planning for college. Now, ask yourself as a parent. I would say from a day one, our son, your daughter was born, this is what I would ask people. Or even if you get carried with, with a newborn child, yes, we all get excited. And I would say at least keep their first birthday as the day to start saving for their school, for their college, and for their educational well-being. Even if that money, that I'm pretty sure every dollar being spent and saved on that will go towards their building their great future. So that would be my role. So start earning. I mean, start saving earlier. If we can set aside, say, $100 paycheck, if we can, more, $200. I would, if you're able to do that, that would cover for each child to fully support their college financial obligation. It's doable. It's all doable. So again, this may be a little intimidating, and don't get intimidated with it. I like to just take a couple of points here. College savings plan, for example, for those who live in Virginia, there is something called VA 529 that helps us to set aside some money. It's called tax. It's not a tax deferred. It's a post. Well, the state government gives you the tax exemption, not the federal government, but the growth is not taxed. The money being grown in that investment is not taxed. So that's the beauty of it. So as long as it's the money is used for schools, we are able to take advantage of that. So that's one beauty of this savings plan. And then there is also something similar called educational savings plan, and the government allows up to allows us to contribute up to $2,000 per year, and that grows tax-free as well. And they also something called Roth IRA, in case if you don't know, it's a post tax paid money, but again, the growth is not taxed. So these are all the ways how to avoid, how to minimize the tax contribution so the money grows, and we're able to use that towards our kids' education. And another thing, a lot of parents are able to send their kids to the AP classes, or rather, I would say a lot of kids are able to handle the AP classes, and every AP class taken by this a kid basically gets the college credit. So it's like accomplishing a piece of college life in the high school by taking AP classes. That also means less burden financially. And sometimes the kids are also able to do some part-time jobs despite their busy school life. That's another aspect of it. And the savings bond is something many of us don't know. I was surprised. Many of us don't know what the savings bond is doing. It's a government issued security. It's one of the safest way of saving, setting aside some money, but that's a portion of that savings account, savings bond money can be used towards the college admission, not admission, sorry, for paying for the college tuition fees, and certain type of series bonds are available. In case if you don't know what a FAFSA, that's an application we do every year. That's where we declare our tax records and financial assets and apply for a loan. And the financial aid comes from that. For those who don't have what do you call good money to support for a better college, the financial aid comes into play. That's a government provided loan system. And there are also private loan systems available for us to take advantage of. Some employers do provide a tuition reimbursement at, for the, for the kids. I haven't seen one, but I've read about it. That's why I thought I will share this, have this included. Check with the employer if they offer any some type of reimbursement for the financial support, as a financial support. And last but not least, there is a scholarship from external sources. There are many small organizations, or even I would say corporations. They offer little money to every kid in the form of a scholarship. Like, they can write some essays and show demonstrate that's part of their obligation to that. It's like they probably want to tell that we supported X number of students every year on their being part of their. It's community growth. It's a great thing that a lot of kids, a lot of parents are not aware of it, sadly. So it would be nice to get to know about those scholarship programs and apply for them. It's all about they ask the kid to write a small paragraph or sometimes a little essay on what they think about what is happening, and they look for some kind of solutions from there as well. So be aware of it. There are many ways of tapping sources to get fund, but I would say the top 3 or 4, 4 or 5, I would say, it plays a major role in the financial part. So start early and save from every single paycheck is what I would suggest. Now, coming to the tuition fees, the picture that you see on the top, it is not just the money, it is a cumulative. It's a time tested money, because when the money and the time plays well, we usually see a magic. So time and the money, that means it connects with my previous statement, right? So start at the earlier age, start as soon as you can. That would really give us the strength to accomplish a lot more. For those who don't know, there are 2 types of a college admission process. One is in-state and out-of-state. In-state is usually $10,000 to $15,000 cheaper per year. So that's a savings. If it's a 4 years day saving, in-state could help us save close to $60,000. Some would argue differently, but I'll tell you, I'll come to that point. And if it's an in-state college, and if the students are able to commute from home, that's another savings. You don't have to pay for the boarding or what is called a dorm and other accommodations, right? So that saves a big chunk of money right there. For example, if there is a student and in-state and commuting from home, the college fees could potentially, you can look at the number. We can save a lot more. And the same in-state person staying in the dorm for 4 years, and that shows a different number. This is just a number based on my experience, and these numbers, interestingly, these numbers increase year by year. The way how it grows, we as parents, we know how hard it is to catch up, because the school education is a little out of proportion with our salary increase. So if our pay increases by X percentage, this goes by X times 2 or X times 4 sometimes. That's a little challenging, and that's where I wish that the government or the leaders find a way to make it even more affordable, and make their school life much better. And then in-state, and there is one other tip I got from a friend, is that check with the college if they let us pay the tuition fee on a monthly basis, so we can connect that with the paycheck. And a lot of parents are able to take advantage of that and pay. I was able to do that through the pandemic, but before pandemic, they used to ask a lump sum for the entire semester. So, but during the pandemic, I think they quickly brought it down because of the financial challenges everyone was going through. I was able to pay on a monthly basis, and I felt less stressful, or it was much easier to manage. So now look at that, compare these 2 numbers with the out of state, and then you add up another $60,000, and that could typically go up to $180,000 per year, or even beyond from today's market. I'm talking about 2023. So 4 years, 5 years from today, this could even increase it by 10% or even more, right? I would say. So just be aware of it. Not to intimidate, but just kind of give you an idea. But no worries there. This is not to challenge, or this is not to make you anxious about it, but everything is doable. Everything is doable. It's just a game. Remember, finance is a game, and we all can play the game. Every single parent in this country was able to afford their college tuition. So every kid is destined to be successful. So just be aware of it. So now this is what is my understanding about the college fees: in-state, commute, in-state, state dorm, out of state. Of course, out of state is staying dorm as well. So you can see how much different it is. And financial experts would argue that this is where I want to put a star there, right? So financial expert, there are some tips and tools available. I would ask you to talk to an expert who can guide you through how to make out of state affordable. So it's very easy for parents to ignore the out of state college because, oh, it's expensive. Aliyar has said it's double the price. No, not necessarily. There are ways that you can find ways to make out of state college fees as cool as, did I say as cool as? Yes. All right. So as, low as an in-state college fee, right? So that I would ask you to check with those experts, and they'll tell you the tips and tools on it. Okay, now this is what I would recommend anyone with one son or daughter. I would say save $200 every paycheck from your kid's first birthday, right? So take it easy on the first year if you can. But now the question is, how many of us will be thinking now, oh my gosh, from first birthday, where in the world? My son is 12 years old already, 17-year-old already, 20 years old already. What am I going to do there? No worries. That there are ways of handling it. There are other opportunities out there. Look at your investment, look at your 401k. I hope you don't have to, but there are options available. In the worst case, we can always apply for a government-sponsored loan, government-provided loan for a less interest. I would say not too bad compared to the other private loans out there. So those things are available as well. There are many ways of accomplishing it. But if you want an easy peasy, if you're able to set it aside, some portion of money every paycheck, that goes a long way. Remember remember this diagram. The time and the money gives you a magic. And sometimes the tax laws allows the family to give as a gift, and that becomes a tax-free transaction. Like say in our case, not in my case, but in someone that I know, they were able to bring a property, sell the property in India, and that the grandma was able to send the money as a gift. I just know a little bit of it, not too much about that, but that is an option available. So sometimes people do sell a piece of their unused land or old home or something like that. So there are ways if they want to pay, send them to a good college and that needs more money. That's an option available. My suggestion was to create a passive income when possible. Someone suggested me at the right time, and that's when my help came on board to save me from that financial obligation or a little bit of a pressure. So she opened a business called SRM Fashions, and you could go and check it out yourself on that website. And we had 1,000+ follow, people follow and members and customers, and she has built that within that 5-6 years time period, and that's a good accomplishment. And she was able to fully support. So basically, here is the good part of it. The passive income is what helped us pay the entire college fee for my elder daughter. So that's, I thought that will just be a supportive thing, but guess what? It took care of it. So if you think about the passive income, always think about a passive income, and that really helps and comes handy. And not only that, that's helping my second daughter as well. So thanks to my wife, I express my gratitude for all her hard work and dedications in making the magic happen. So again, that's another magic. Please consider having a passive income. It's a lot easier than you can imagine. A lot of us think that I'm already on a 9-to-5 job. No, there is always a way to make extra money through the skill that you have. There is many. You just have to put your first foot. It's like running a marathon. The coaches would always say everybody can run a marathon. It just those who have the courage to be at the start line is the finisher. So be at the start lines. Make your first step. Do with whatever Mahendran's popular quote. Start with what you have, and you can accomplish that. My fourth plan was to rob a bank. Luckily, I didn't have to do that, so it's meant to be a joke, and don't take it serious, right? So this is what typically talk about in a college admission, rob a bank. No, there is no need to, because if you plan it well, you start early, like go back to this one, you start from as early as possible. If you think your son or daughter is here, no worries there. If you're here, no worries there. If you're here, no worries there. Everywhere there is a way to proceed, but try to plan, right? Plan it well, so we can accomplish a lot of things. So a couple of, I'm at the last page now. Won't take much more than a couple of minutes. A lot of times the people, this is my personal recommendation, but my own observation. A lot of times people overdo with money for their kids' education. For God's sake, please do not overdo with the money. What is overdoing the money? Oh yeah, my son, don't play too much emotion into that, because I've seen families burning all their hard-earned lifetime savings to support, just because they wanted to send it to a better school, despite the fact that the son or the daughter getting a good scholarship from other colleges, where the college offers them great incentive to be there. They are good colleges as well, but they choose, just because my neighbor, just because the other kid is doing in that college, and I'm going to. So basically, they put themselves into a lot of financial distress, and please do not overdo that. Remember the what do you call the 401k savings that we build? That is our money. We are not supposed to kill that money for the sake of it. So do not overdo that money for the kids' education. Do do whatever the money you have saved for the college education. That's all I would say. If college offers scholarship, discuss with your kids and do your best. A lot of times the kids, they may not necessarily know the financial game, so they may say, I want to go to that college. They only think about the college, but as parents, it's our responsibility to let them know what is affordability versus what is the dream. And of late, I've realized that especially these private counseling, they are targeting Asians and predominantly Indian community, and they go by their zip code. The first thing they ask is the zip code. So they're really smart people out there. I call them smart, quote unquote, for private counseling. For what? Private counseling, just because they know when to apply for the colleges and where to apply and which colleges can give you all this information out in the Google. Guess what I bought? I spoke to someone. That person said, you for SAT preparation, you pay $8,000. For college application, $7,000. For guess what? This is one full year college fees. So this has really made me angry. And I guess what? I went to the bookstore, purchased 2 books. I spent a quality time with my daughter. Thus, I'll share the books in the WhatsApp group. It's called College Admission Essentials by Ethan Sawyer. And Jill Margaret by her book is like College Admission Crack. So they share a lot of good stuff. So do not necessarily, you don't have to spend so much money to get to know about the application financial understanding. Get a good financial advisor is all we need to plan it. Get financial advisors help sooner. This is do not overlook at the last piece, because a lot of us we take action. We think we know a lot. Actually, the financial advisor, they play a major role. They do a pretty good job. They are the experts. They know exactly where our money gets wasted. For example, in my case, I only gave this person a $250 reviving my financial situation, and within 5 minutes he helped me save a $3,000 on something that I was unnecessarily wasted as a fee, and I didn't even know that it's a hidden fee. So I immediately called my 401k company and I said, take it out. And he saved me $3,600 when I only gave him a $250 a consultant fee, and he's willing to help me 4 times a year. So that's that's a good deal for me. So I'll share that information as well. And I also manage a self-finance what do you call WhatsApp group that's all about that. You can post your questions there, and there are experts available to answer questions and stuff like that. So if Mahendra would allow me, I will share that information in our WhatsApp group, and let's play some financial game pretty well, and especially with our kids' life, especially for their college life. So, nutshell. All right, we have the last few lines. Don't sweat unnecessarily. The universe has a life for every kid. So just as a reminder, and I know we are learning this in the Energile session as well. Second, no need to teach a fish. This is what I read in this book as well. Don't teach a fish how to climb a tree, because a lot of times kids may be an expert in one area, but we may have given out a different direction. They struggle to find, and they feel I don't belong here all their life, and that's we don't want to get there. So let them be a kid, let them find out what they want to be, and we don't have to sort of think about ourselves, where we were as a middle schooler, high schooler, or even in college. We came from nothing. We are something right now. So if we can do, our kids can do even better. Every parent will be able to handle the financial obligation. So I may have intimidated you through some of the points there, but if that is the case, no sweating there. Every one of us will be able to handle the financial obligation or financial need, and every kid will take care of their parents just like we did, right? So these are all really my reflections on how I look at that. Money spent on the kids is an energy transfer. Thanks to Mahendran for the word energy transfer. Arigato, right? Arigato. Money spent on your kid is an energy transfer, but always be aware the money we spend for our children is the gratitude that we take to we pay to our parents, right? So it's an energy transfer. Our parents did everything that they could for us, and we do everything that we could do for our kids, and don't expect anything back from them, because what we are doing to our kids is is a gratitude for our parents, right? All right, going back to the good old saying, finance is a game, play it well, and we all will play it well. And so happy again. Back to you, Mahendran. Thanks for listening. And I'll leave this open for any questions if you have.
Wow, Warrior, what an amazing session, how informative, not just informative, also very inspiring, that's what I say, right, friends? How do you all feel? Just give through your reaction. And so very well presented, very well crafted. Thank you so much, Aliyar. Just to add a little more points, and then we'll also have a question and answer. Just to add little more points to the other resources, whatever Aliyar mentioned, right? So in addition to whatever the state plans you have, whatever the 529, depends on different state, you have different plans, right? And the state prepaid plans. These are some of the resources you can just note down if you want to, right? So there's a tuition fund through any bank, and especially in Virginia, right? So earlier it used to be called the BB&T Bank, now the Truist Bank, right? So they have certain tuition fund. So you can check with your individual banks. There are certain options. Also, the FAFSA, what Aliyar said, which expands to free application for federal student aid, right? It's a federal program basically. And thanks for Aliyar for sharing about that also. And then the kids savings plan, like a certificate of deposit. And you can also have, of course, the student loan is another thing, is a very big thing, but it needs to be very well planned, like Aliyar mentions, take that expert advice. And the other few things like rich parents, rich grandpa, grandma, the mutual funds, the investment property, like which are dedicated for kids' studies. Some people do that, right? These are the different sources. And then the employer scholarship, you can always, look into that options, which Aliyar also mentioned about it, like look into your employer, if they have any options. Always, some people don't even know about it. And then the 401k balance, what Aliyar mentioned, that's another source, wonderful source. And the refinancing loan, right? So through your HELOC account, right? So the home equity line of credit, that's another option. some people even have their, golden jewelry, especially, Indians are very good at it. That's another source. I'm sharing about these sources because it's not that challenging, right? So if we can really plan ahead, and if you fail to plan, you plan to fail, right? That's a saying, the same way. So there are other few things like maybe, similar to the gifts from grandparents, even from other family members. So up to certain, based on the whatever the legal, within the legal terms. And then the kids scholarship options are available, which you can explore. Students part-time jobs, many people do that too, right? Like including inside and outside campus. Like for example, my daughter used to say, "Appa, that's my responsibility, college education." I mean, she may not know the complete spectrum of, wow, what a very big spectrum what Alia has presented here, right? And that's a very big thing. And still, like, making even kids, responsible. Alia mentioned beautiful points there. And some people, even sell the real estate property from India on plan, right? So even leasing the agricultural property, surrendering or the maturity of certain India-based policies, because there are many parents who are rooted in India, right? So also the education savings account, which already earlier mentioned about the US-based, and all we need to be watchful, or just to know, right, that all 529 plans, they invest in stock market. So it also has certain effect on, like how the stock plays a role also, right? So there are a lot of things, we need to know. And thank you so much, Aliya, once again for the power pack presentation. You put each and every word, line, completely applicable to the community. Thank you so much for that.
Well,
Yes.
I want to thank, you see here, the one I put in the red here.
Right.
I want to thank these two people who are trying to rip me off, saying that you pay me $7,500. It is you pay me $10,000. I will help let your kid go to the college and stuff like that. So they made me go. There are easy books like $10, $15 books. I'll send the books, image of those books. So what I did is, my daughter and I used to go to Panera or a Starbucks coffee, sit together, read and discuss with her. That's a good engagement. So I was able to tap a lot of things from them. So just a couple of books is all we need, but it's important that we educate ourselves with that. Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's definitely, yeah. We can post the, links, to those books, maybe the Amazon link or something, in the group, as well as, where to watch. Sure, Aliya. Yeah, we'll just open it for any questions and feedback. Yeah, we'll first take maybe a couple of questions. I think earlier might be okay.
Absolutely.
Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, over to the floor.
Aliya, thanks a lot for this presentation here. I think this was on my mind. So how much would you recommend for the college, for saving for the college, Aliya? So what would be the amount? Just in case, not really in specific, just averages or whatever approximation.
Can you set aside 5% of our income from every paycheck? If we can do, I would say, that's the minimum I would say start with. If that 5%, if your son or daughter is in the elementary school, okay, so if they're already in the high school, I would say 10% or even more, if we can.
Okay. So you would say probably like 200 grand per kid, or
about that is what we need to think about. Yes. 200 grand okay. is a bit stretched out, unless you think about a college that makes you pay a lot more money. But if it's an in-state, it's not 200. If it's an in-state, think about 100 grand per child.
Oh, okay.
As per current calendar year, and if our sons or daughters are in the elementary school, that could increase it by up to 30% or even more than that.
But the UVA is like 35 grand, isn't it?
Yeah, because I don't know the number. Again, I don't want to put a number for every college, But yes, I know someone whose son is in UVE, and they talk about 40,000 plus per year.
Yeah.
Remember three components in that. One is the tuition fee, which which is about 60% of that cost, and then the boarding part, and then other expenses, books and whatnot.
Thanks. Thank you, Alir.
You're welcome. Looks like I've become a counselor now, right? Write a check for $7,500. That's what the person asked me to. And I said, pleasure meeting you. Yeah. What I do is I will go ahead and send this as a PDF document to the WhatsApp group. So, and I will also put the two books that which I have it with me right now. So it's a great resource. Yeah. Just curious, how many of you have kids at the high school or even middle school?
I'm going to have 2 kids in high school starting this year. Yeah.
Nice. If you haven't started, so you probably want to, I see Sudhir raising hand as well. Yeah. Vindhya, yes. Okay. So yeah. So Ashok, if your kids are in the high school already, and if you have, if you haven't started, then you need you can call me and see. Well, I can throw a few options based on what I know of, and I would love to. Feel free to call me if you're not comfortable asking questions in the public forum, kind of thing. So I will share what I know of. And I'm not the expert, but I'll definitely share. I've been through that, and I'm also going through that for my second kid, and I would love to share everything I have.
Thanks a lot, Alir. Yeah, thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Alir, we need a session for how to recover after you have paid for your college. How to recover your money after we finished paying for college. No, we need a session for that.
Yeah, I have taken an appointment with a psychologist on how not to. Well, in a fun way, we all do well. We all do well. Here is what I ask myself, all our parents back home, what if they have to bring us up? They gave all their life, right? Pretty much they use the word, they overuse the word sacrifice, and it hurts. They sacrifice so much for us to give us what they could, and we are all something today. So if we can, if they survived, we will survive. If we survived, our kids will survive. Will all do very well. In fact, our kids are a lot more smarter than I would say in my case, and a lot smarter than I am. All right, I'll take the silence as no further questions. So back to you, Mahendra.
All right. Unless anybody has anything to say, thank you so much. Can I have maybe one or two of you just to share how Alir did, kind of feedback? I call it as a feed forward. Yeah, very quick one. Come on, Karthik.
Oh, I can say something, Mahen. Yeah, he did Alir did an amazing job. I could reflect and also identify with many things that you said. As you know, my daughter is going to 3rd year. So thank you so much, Alir. It was really much needed and very nicely put together is what I want to say. You covered pretty much everything what we go through. Thanks, Alia.
Welcome, Sri.
Thank
Thank
you,
you so
Aliyar,
much.
for sharing this information. At least, I got an insight, how to plan for the kids' education. That really helped today. Thank you, Aliyar.
You're welcome, Sudeep.
All right. Thank you so much once again, Aliyar, and thank you the community. Yeah, just few things. Please come forward. Just be part of it. This is one amazing way of contributing back to the community, right? So sharing this, and we have been conducting multiple topics, and please make sure you have your journal with you, and take as much notes as you can. And for all these, either it's a personal breakthrough topics as well as the book breakthrough topics, and also leverage all other sources also. And from all these sessions, one is the kind of knowledge, but how we are going to apply the knowledge, into practical. That's what is really, really important. So the applied knowledge is the real power. Knowledge alone is not the power, right? It's just a potential power, as we say in our sessions. And let's be the massive, inspiring action taker. Definitely, Arya, you inspired many parents through this. Yeah, thank you so much once again. And thank you all. With that, until see you again, chin up, cheer up, and keep shining. And we'll see you all on the daily coaching. Take care. See you.